Greetings from Barcelona. I have refrained from commenting on international politics for a long time, but I think the developments that have happened in the past few months with Donald Trump taking over as President of the United States, we all must speak up because it's going to impact the world. And we are all going to be touched by these actions, his decisions, and his thought. Having said that, I have very high regards for Trump for the reasons that he has put America, his country, on the top of his agenda, nation first. I think this is also a message for all world leaders to put their countries above all. Nothing wrong. I mean, there are two ways to look at things. Doing right things, absolutely he's doing right things, and doing rightly, which probably I have some difference of opinion. See, I have always respected America as a land of innovation for the values it stood for: individual freedom, respect, um, among others, many other values, I guess. But what is happening is that America is moving from big brother approach to big bully. And that is something that not only me, I think the most of Americans would find hard to defend. We are increasingly moving to a bipolar world. But within this bipolar world, there are transitions that we have to understand. One side of bipolar is the United States and Russia, and probably China will also join. So, which means that one pole is going to be Russia, America, and China, and the other side is the rest of the world. And the approach of America has now become very different. So it is moving from relations to transactions. So if you are valued to America in terms of worth, that matters. Values don't matter. Respect is moving to fear. They're going to bully you, going to submit you to things that you don't want to do. Maybe it's not in your national interest, not in the global interest. Moving out of the Paris Accord, moving out of the World Health Organization. So trade has been replaced by taxes, and this will all boomerang. So let me also add one more facet to what's going on. I spoke with a lot of big CEOs who have so far had manufacturing in the third world and service America. Uh, if you pass an order that you got to set up your plants in the United States, it's going to be unviable. For most of the companies that provide products to America at low price, it's going to be unviable. And you can suddenly not move production to the United States. It takes years of effort. So, well, Donald Trump is doing right things. Let me say that America should have manufacturing in America. I have written blogs way back, I guess more than a decade ago, that if people want to sell in India, they need to make in India. And any projects, I think at that time, I don't remember the number, but probably around 500 crores or more. If you have turnover, you got to make in India. So very clearly that what he is doing right, but he's trying to undo what has happened over maybe 4 or 5 decades. So America moved manufacturing to the third world. I think it's very well documented in one of my books, Healthcare Reforms in India Making Up for the Lost Decades, where I captured this, that how America moved the manufacturing to the third world and increased profits in the third world by just marketing products. And now suddenly you want to move entire thing to the first world, America. It won't happen. I cannot set up a plant in America in 4 years, and Trump is president for 4 years, unless US makes him president for 3 terms. He would need at least 3 terms to undo the things, and it has to be a gradual process. You cannot suddenly just write an order and saying, okay, if you don't make in America, you have 30% taxes. So Americans will pay more, which means that over a year and a half or so, he will have more opposition within the United States. And let's also not forget a very important aspect of electoral politics. The winning margin is important. We should see the margin of Kamala Harris, and we should see the margin of Donald Trump. So even if you win by a few percentage, you're still the president. But that doesn't mean that the entire country supported you. Now, just imagine that the supporters of Kamala Harris, plus some of the people who are upset with what Trump is going to do because of the impact it will create. That means you'll have more opponents in the electorate, which isn't a good sign. So I think America needs to rethink that it once stood for values for which we have respected, and now it's moving out of that. Is that a wise thing? Uh, Commercials doesn't decide a country because it's not a company, it's a country. We have to run country like a country, not like a company. Well, with best wishes to Donald Trump for a great tenure, but the reshuffling too many things is weakening the strong foundation of the United States that has been built over centuries. I think the world will reorient. I think new business models will come. I don't think that the world will have a very large negative impact over a long period of time. All the businesses I keep talking to, consult, I say them, this is a fantastic time. Let Donald do what he's doing. The companies that get impacted by tariffs will innovate. The countries that get impacted will innovate. I believe in my country in India. When we were embargoed after Pokhran, we landed in Mars at 76 million. The Mars orbiter mission. That's what I call the MOM model. And there's a talk I gave a few years ago uh, somewhere when I said that we were able to send land in Mars in first attempt with 76 million or 74 million. I don't remember the exact word, a number. And US took 100 units to million to make a movie Gravity. You know, so we know that if you push us to the corner, India has 1.4 billion brains to take it out of anything. And not only we run the world's the biggest tech companies and the biggest companies, we know how to run them. So certainly we know how to run our country. Donald Trump is not going to, push us